Not every message arrives as a lightning bolt. Sometimes you have to sit in stillness and wait for the whispers to arise. My name is Tigris. I am the Sky Witch, and I love talking all things stars and magic. If that's your jam, make sure to pop over to my channel and hit subscribe. Today we are talking about the Mercury Cazimi. What does that mean? Well, what it means is that the sun and the planet Mercury, from our perspective, are going to be lined up in the sky, where they're going to have a moment of purification and connection, where their energies are enmeshed together as a singular energy that's made out of two others. I almost think of it like colors, like if the sun was red and Mercury was yellow, then when they're together and meshed in their space, and that's where they create orange. It's almost like a third different energy, but both energies exist within it. We just had like a wild period where we had an eclipse on August 12th, and then the sun came up the south node, and then Mercury came up against the south node, and then now the sun and Mercury are meeting up again. They actually met up recently before, because part of the Mercury retrograde experience is the sun and Mercury coming up into a Cazimi position, which is when Mercury was kind of like tracing to understand the steps it had taken. It connected with the sun and had these insights. This is a little bit different because what's happening here is we've just gone through this huge purifying energy. We've burned shit down to the ground. But now the sun and Mercury, they're no longer in that fiery energy. They're in like a much cooler, gentler place. They're in Virgo. Virgo is way more of like an old growth forest. And the way that I want to describe this insight coming from us, because insight always arrives when the sun and Mercury come up together. Part of Mercury's whole experience is to bring messages to all of us, to each other. It is an amplifier of communication. And so that insight that we tend to get, especially around our thoughts, that is Mercurian. And it comes up against the sun and we're ready to receive information. Well, we're in Virgo, so this information is not loud information. This information is information that comes from the depths. This is the kind of information also that is so widespread that it's going to take a little bit to understand what it means. And I say that because when we're in Virgo, I want us to think of like a mushroom network, right? Like, like under the forest, how all of the mushrooms are actually communicating with each other. And there is this huge, beautiful kind of like collective network that's happening between fungus. That is very much the type of insight that we can expect to receive from this Mercury Cazimi. With Mercury and the sun being at 4 degrees Virgo, we're going into the forest. We are walking into an old growth forest. We are listening to the trees. We are listening to the leaves rustle. We are listening to the creak of branches. Maybe something cracked because an animal. There's a squirrel over there. A bird has tweeted. There's information. There's information that comes when we go out seeking that stillness, and we wait in that stillness to see what comes up from that. And for us, that's going to come from that mushroom network. This isn't just about us. When everything was in Leo, it was just about us. But we burned that down. Like Leo energy is like, it is about me. It is about self. But we just had a few different instances where we wanted to burn up what wasn't serving us. And so the stories that we tell ourselves about the self are part of what's being released. And now we can tap into this network of connection and say, okay, what can I learn now that I've created all of this space? Tell me, dear Mercury, with your communication insight, tell me what I can do to grow in that space. Virgo is such a beautiful growing place. It's a great earth energy, right? If we have this forest fire that just came in and burned everything down so that we could release and purify and have new space, well, now out of that ash, that Virgo energy is going to grow. Virgo is also like a mutable energy, so it's about changing. So it's taking like, hey, this is what we have here, and now I'm going to turn it into something amazing and different, innovative and curious. It's like really cool thinking. And it is coming from the fact that we are all connected. We are all connected at this tangible body level. I saw a video recently that talked about how like our body fascia also operates like a little mushroom network. I thought that was very curious. We are all connected. Even the tangible has connections. That's also why the power of touch and touch as a basic human need is an important thing, because we need one another to survive effectively. And so as we go in and we glean this information and we hear what's happening, it's going to be important for us to do that in stillness. And I want you to touch grass. Take an opportunity on August 27th to touch some grass. Please and thank you. Now, one of the other things before I move on is just the curiosity that Mercury is at home, because Virgo is Mercury's home. And so this is happening in like a very personal place. This is to say, to look in yourself and say, like, if I was at home and I was looking around, and it doesn't matter where Virgo is in your chart, by the way, because Virgo is Mercury's home, and Mercury is at home with this in this Cazimi positioning. Okay, so looking around and saying, what in my space needs some sort of improvement so that I can experience improvement in my everyday being. And it's probably going to be shaken up quite a bit, because the other thing that is happening right now at this moment, you know, like 4 degrees is this Cazimi, but at 5 degrees of Gemini, we'll find Uranus. And Gemini is Mercury's other home. And so things are being shaken up in this space over here, while we're learning about our insights over here, and they're coming up in a difficult position, because Gemini and Virgo are square each other, and square is more like a friction-y type of alignment. And so this alignment that is happening between the Sun and Mercury is also happening in a more difficult alignment with Uranus, which is asking us to shake things up, to change, to get a little bit more chaotic and different. And so again, we have cleared the space by burning it all down, and now we are listening to the forest to see what needs to change, because something needs to change, and it needs to change drastically. And we're not going to get equilibrium in our homes until we understand and listen to what comes up, so that we can start making different choices. If we're going to shine as brightly as we need to shine, we need to make sure that we let go of what we need, but that we don't replace what we don't need with more of what we don't need. So listen to the insights that Mercury has for you, and you will start to understand what it is that you need to fill the space that you just cleared up with. I want to know where Virgo is in your chart, so drop that down as a comment, because then we can know where this is happening or what kind of themes we can expect to be brought up for us. Make sure to comment that, and if you like this video, head over to my channel and subscribe, because there's lots more just like this. I love you so much. I can't wait to talk to you again soon. Have a great day.